My name is Michael Strobel.
My name is Amanda Seidel.
My name is Katelyn Laird.
My name is Heidi LeVake.
I am 26 years old.
I'm 21 years old.
I am 18 years old.
I'm 27 years
I
old.
was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2006.
I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in 2009.
I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in 2009.
My mom got diagnosed with Crohn's when I was 2.
Actually had my first flare-up back in 2005. I initially thought it was a stomach virus of sorts, and when I had my second flare-up in 2006, I went to the doctor and all the signs were there that it was ulcerative colitis.
When I was 16, I had really bad pain in my right hip, and I thought it was an orthopedic issue, and so I went to the doctor and referred me to a gastrointestinologist because they knew it wasn't orthopedic. Once I got to the gastrointestinologist, I explained to her all my symptoms, such as the hip pain. I also was getting really bad fevers and chills and cold sweats and things like that. And she did a colonoscopy and an endoscopy. And before she even did that, she pretty much knew it was Crohn's disease.
I found out I had Crohn's because for a few months I was unable to eat anything without getting really sick. During Thanksgiving, my parents started to notice that I had no appetite, and I went to my pediatrician after that, who tested me for a lot, but everything came back negative, so I went to a GI to see what could be wrong. I had scopes on December 21st, the day after my 15th birthday, and that is when I found out that I had Crohn's disease.
Once we were getting older, they started telling us more about it. When I was like 7, she actually had a miscarriage at 6 months. That was a result of a Crohn's flare-up. It just caused too many complications. When I was 9 or 10, she was hospitalized with a blockage, and she had to have 7 feet of her intestines removed. They actually pulled us out of school for that because she had like a half hour to get into surgery or it was going to kill her. Even being 9 and 10, we were still kind of young, like our friends didn't ask too much about it.
It's hard to let friends know all the problems I go through in simple situations. For instance, I'm always thinking about when and where a bathroom is.
Being diagnosed with Crohn's disease affected my family financially. My other siblings were diagnosed with medical issues during 2009, so it was just kind of a hectic year for my family.
Dealing with friends was a very big change when you're 15 and no one really knows about the disease. It's hard to explain to them that this disease is chronic, and explaining the difference between chronic and terminal. Like, I'm not dying, but there's no cure.
The first time that I really realized what a struggle it was for my mom to have Crohn's was when we first moved up to Alaska. She would be so sick that she would be in bed all day or on the couch all day, like constant pain. Like she would have to have tubes down her nose. I've seen them do that a few times, and it's a horrible thing to watch someone go through.
Absolute worst experience had to be going to the hospital that first time and to hear that surgery was my only option. It was something I didn't really want to hear. Having that forced upon you was very hard.
Ever since I was young, surgery was probably my biggest fear ever, and so it was scary having to undergo that, and I don't like not being in control of things, and so having to be put under anesthesia, having my body being cut into, and feet of my colon being taken out was really terrifying to me.
My best friend, the day I told him, I think before it even sank in, that I all of a sudden had a chronic disease I knew nothing about, I told him, and I just remember him crying because he was so worried about what was going to happen. Was I going to be okay? Was I going to get better?
I don't think my mom has ever really known anybody affected by it except for her neighbor, Lori. Lori's mom actually passed away from complications from Crohn's. Just knowing that that's how her mom died makes it really scary that my mom has it.
If I could tell the world
If I could tell the world
If I were to let the world know
If I could tell people one thing,
one thing,
one thing in regards to IBD, be cautious and not make fun of them for always having to use the restroom or always having to watch what they eat.
be overall aware of it. Know that a lot of people have it, more people than you possibly realize.
be aware of it. Just realize that even if we're feeling good, it's a struggle every day, and it's something that we live with every day.
you know, it's not something that you hear about all the time, but it's such a wicked disease. It affects every single day. I think because it's not a very well-known disease necessarily, people don't understand the impact that it has on people who do have it and their families.